Welcome to our deep dive into the world of quantum computing. This field is generating a lot of buzz, and for good reason. You've shared some really interesting research with us, and I'm particularly fascinated by this idea that quantum computers don't just crunch numbers like our laptops,
Mhm.
but they operate on entirely different principles, tapping into the strangeness of quantum mechanics.
Yeah, it's true. Quantum computing isn't just about faster processing. It's a fundamentally different approach to computation altogether. Think of it this way. Traditional computers use bits, which can be either a 0 or a 1, but quantum computers use qubits, which can be 0, 1, or both simultaneously. And this both at once state called superposition. That's one of the key things that makes quantum computing so powerful.
Okay, I think I'm starting to get it. So instead of just two states, qubits can exist in a multitude of states at the same time.
Exactly, and that allows quantum computers to perform calculations in parallel, exploring many possibilities simultaneously. Another crucial aspect is entanglement, where two qubits become linked even if they're physically separated. This allows for information to be shared instantaneously regardless of distance.
Wow, that's mind-bending. It sounds like something straight out of science fiction.
Uh,
But this Deloitte report makes it clear that quantum computing is already making waves in several key areas. They highlight optimization, machine learning, and simulation as the three big game changers.
Yes, and those applications have the potential to disrupt a wide range of industries. Take optimization, for example. Imagine a logistics company trying to find the most efficient way to route its delivery trucks, or a financial institution seeking the optimal portfolio allocation. Quantum algorithms could analyze massive data sets and identify the best solution with incredible speed and accuracy.
The report mentions how the Port of Los Angeles used quantum optimization to streamline their cargo operations, and they were able to increase crane deliveries by a whopping 60%, which is pretty remarkable.
Absolutely, and that kind of efficiency gain translates directly into cost savings and improved performance. But let's not forget about quantum machine learning, or QML. This is where things get even more exciting.
From what I understand, QML can analyze data and uncover patterns that would be invisible to traditional machine learning algorithms. It's like having a superpowered detective for your data.
That's a great analogy. The report suggests that QML could have a major impact on fraud detection in finance, potentially saving billions of dollars. And in healthcare, QML could lead to earlier and more accurate diagnoses, potentially saving lives. It's all about finding those hidden signals within complex data sets.
And then there's simulation, which is all about using quantum computers to model complex systems from molecules to financial markets. The report highlights how pharmaceutical companies like Roche are exploring quantum simulation to accelerate drug discovery.
Right. Instead of spending years and millions of dollars on lab experiments, imagine being able to simulate how a drug interacts with the human body at a molecular level using a quantum computer. This could drastically shorten the drug development process, making life-saving treatments available much faster.
So we've got optimization streamlining processes, QML uncovering hidden patterns, and simulation revolutionizing how we design and discover. It seems like quantum computing really is a game changer with the potential to touch nearly every aspect of our lives. But I have to ask, how do we actually build these quantum computers? It all sounds very complex.
It is complex, and there are several different approaches being explored. Some use superconducting qubits, which are essentially tiny circuits cooled to extremely low temperatures. Others use trapped ions, where individual atoms are held in place using electromagnetic fields. And there are even approaches based on neutral atoms and photons.
So it's a bit like the Wild West of computing with various technologies vying for dominance.
In a way, yes. Each approach has its pros and cons, and it's still too early to say which one will ultimately prevail. Some are faster, but less stable, while others are more stable, but slower. The challenge is finding the right balance for specific applications.
And I imagine building these quantum computers is incredibly expensive and requires a high level of technical expertise.
Absolutely. Building a quantum computer is no small feat. It requires a significant investment in research and development specialized equipment and a team of highly skilled engineers and scientists. And that brings us to an important question. How can one invest in this quantum revolution?
That's a great question. It's clear that quantum computing is poised to be a major force in the future. But how can everyday investors like myself get in on the action?
Well, you're right. You can't just walk into a store and buy a quantum computer yet. But there are some exciting avenues opening up, especially for those who are interested in early stage investments.
So where should we be looking? What are some of the entry points for someone who wants to dip their toes into the quantum investing pool?
One option is venture funds specializing in cutting edge tech, particularly quantum computing. These funds pool resources from multiple investors to back promising startups developing the hardware, software, and applications that will drive the quantum revolution.
So it's a bit like traditional venture capital, but laser focused on the quantum sector.
Exactly. And these venture funds often have deep expertise in the field and can identify the most promising companies, the ones with the potential to become the next quantum giants.
That makes sense. But what about family offices, those private wealth management firms that cater to ultra-high net worth individuals and families? Are there specific strategies they should consider for investing in this space?
Absolutely. Family offices are increasingly recognizing the transformative potential of quantum computing and are eager to get involved. One intriguing approach is co-investing, where multiple family offices pool their resources and expertise. Think of it as forming a quantum brain trust.
I like that a quantum brain trust. It allows them to share knowledge, mitigate risks, and potentially access deals that would be difficult to pursue individually. It's fascinating to see how traditional investment models are adapting to this new frontier.
It really is. And speaking of exciting investment opportunities, there's one fund in particular that stands out, Venture Science's Strata Fund. They focus specifically on quantum computing and AI startups operating in key high-growth sectors.
Venture Science, that name rings a bell. They've been making waves in the deep tech investment world. What's their approach and what makes them stand out?
Venture science is interesting because they're not just chasing the latest trends. They're investing in companies tackling fundamental scientific challenges, those with the potential to create lasting impact.
So they're not just riding the hype wave, but betting on the companies building the foundational technologies of the future. That's a much more strategic approach.
Exactly. And their Strata Fund is particularly intriguing because it recognizes the synergy between quantum computing and AI. It's not just about quantum or AI in isolation, but about how these two revolutionary technologies can amplify each other.
Hey there, listeners. If you're enjoying this deep dive into the future of markets, take a moment to support the show. Hit that like button, share this episode with fellow investors and market enthusiasts, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an update. Thanks for tuning in.
Now that you mention it, I can see how those two fields are a natural fit. Quantum computing could provide the raw processing power needed to unlock even more powerful AI capabilities.
Precisely. Imagine the possibilities when you combine those two superpowers. And venture science focuses on hypergrowth sectors, areas like biotech, advanced materials, and energy, where these technologies can have the biggest impact.
So for investors who are particularly bullish on the convergence of quantum computing and AI, Venture Science's Strata Fund seems like it would be worth a closer look.
I'd agree with that. It's certainly worth exploring, especially for those comfortable with the inherent risk of early-stage investing in deep tech.
Okay, so we've got venture funds specializing in quantum computing co-investment opportunities for family offices and targeted funds like Venture Science's Strata. It seems like there's a growing ecosystem of investment options for those who want to be part of the quantum revolution.
That's right. And as the field matures, we can expect even more investment opportunities, perhaps, including public offerings from quantum computing companies or exchange-traded funds focused on this sector.
So even for those who aren't accredited investors or high net worth individuals, there might be ways to participate in the quantum boom down the road.
It's certainly possible. As quantum computing technology becomes more mainstream and accessible, we can anticipate that the investment options will evolve to cater to a wider range of investors.
That's exciting to think about. It feels like we're witnessing the birth of a new technological era, and the investment landscape is evolving in real time to keep pace.
It's a truly fascinating time to be following this space, but while the potential rewards of investing in quantum computing are immense, it's crucial to approach this new frontier with a balanced perspective.
You're right. We've talked about the incredible potential, but let's not forget that with any investment, especially in a cutting-edge field like this, there are inherent risks.
Absolutely. It's crucial to remember that quantum computing is still in its early stages of development. There are no guarantees of success, and it's important to be aware of the potential downsides before making any investment decisions.
So let's dive into those risks a bit. What are some of the things that potential investors should be wary of?
Well, for starters, the technology itself is still evolving rapidly. The quantum computers we have today are relatively small and prone to errors. It's a bit like the early days of classical computers when systems were bulky, unreliable, and required specialized knowledge to operate. Overcoming these technical hurdles will take time and significant investment.
So there's a chance that some of the early investments in quantum computing might not pan out as expected.
That's definitely a possibility. Not every quantum computing company will be successful. Some approaches may turn out to be dead ends, while others might struggle to scale their technology or find a profitable market for their products. Investors need to do their due diligence and carefully assess the technical roadmap of any company they're considering.
It sounds like a classic case of buyer beware.
Huh?
Navigating this complex landscape requires a savvy investor who can separate the wheat from the chaff.
Precisely. Another risk to keep in mind is the potential for hype to outpace reality. Quantum computing has captured the imagination of the public and investors alike, and this excitement can lead to inflated expectations and valuations. We need to be wary of a potential bubble forming, which could eventually burst, leaving investors with losses.
So it's important to look beyond the buzzwords and marketing hype and focus on companies with a solid scientific foundation, a clear vision, and a realistic roadmap. Don't get caught up in the frenzy without doing your homework.
I couldn't agree more. And finally, it's crucial to consider the competitive landscape. Quantum computing is attracting major investment from tech giants like Google, IBM, and Microsoft, not to mention governments around the world.
So startups and smaller players are facing some stiff competition, to say the least. They're going up against some of the most powerful and well-funded entities in the world.
Exactly. It's essential to assess how well a company is positioned to compete in this dynamic and evolving market. Do they have a unique technological edge? A strong team? A clear path to profitability? These are all critical questions investors need to ask.
So to sum it up, investors need to be mindful of the technological risks, the potential for hype, and the intense competition in the quantum computing space. It's a high-stakes game that requires careful planning, a long-term outlook, and a tolerance for uncertainty.
You've hit the nail on the head. Quantum computing is not for the faint of heart. It's a field that demands a combination of vision-calculated risk-taking and a deep understanding of both the technology and the market.
We've covered a lot of ground today, from the mind-bending science behind quantum computing to the investment landscape and the risks involved. But even with all this information, I can't help but feel like we're just scratching the surface of what quantum computing might become.
I share that feeling. We're still in the early innings of this game, and the most exciting applications of quantum computing might not even be on our radar yet. Think about it, just a few decades ago, the internet was a niche technology used mostly by academics and researchers. Today, it's an indispensable part of our lives, connecting billions of people and transforming every aspect of society.
It's mind-boggling to consider how much the world has changed in such a short time, and quantum computing has the potential to be even more transformative than the internet. It's both exciting and a little bit daunting to think about.
It really is, and it highlights the importance of approaching quantum computing with a sense of wonder and possibility, while also being mindful of the potential risks and challenges.
So as we move into the final part of our deep dive, what's the one key takeaway you want our listeners to remember about quantum computing?
I would say this. Quantum computing is not just about bits and qubits, algorithms, and hardware. It's about the potential to solve some of humanity's greatest challenges and unlock a future that we can only begin to imagine.
That's a powerful thought. It's not just a technological revolution, it's a human one.
Yeah.
And as we navigate this uncharted territory, I think it's crucial to consider not just the how of quantum computing, but also the why. What are we striving to achieve with this incredible technology?
Absolutely. We need to be asking ourselves what kind of future we want to create with this powerful tool. Will quantum computing be used to solve the world's most pressing problems, or will it inadvertently create new ones? These questions demand careful consideration.
It's almost like we're being handed a toolbox filled with incredibly advanced tools. We could use them to build a bridge to a brighter future, or we could misuse them, leading to unforeseen consequences. The choices we make today will have a profound impact on the world of tomorrow.
It's a sobering thought, and it underscores the need for ethical considerations to be woven into the very fabric of quantum computing, from its development to its deployment.
But who gets to decide what constitutes ethical use in the context of such a transformative technology? It's a complex question with no easy answers, and I think it requires a global conversation involving diverse perspectives.
You're absolutely right. We need ethicists, philosophers, social scientists, policymakers, and everyday citizens at the table, along with the scientists and engineers, to shape the ethical framework for quantum computing. It can't just be a discussion amongst technologists. The implications are far too broad.
It almost feels like we need a quantum ethics council, a global body tasked with guiding the development and deployment of this technology in a way that benefits all of humanity, not just a select few.
That's a very interesting idea. It highlights the need for international collaboration on this front. Quantum computing is a global endeavor, and the ethical considerations need to be addressed on a global scale. No single nation or entity should dictate the terms of engagement for something this powerful.
It's a daunting task, but one that we absolutely can't afford to ignore. The stakes are simply too high to proceed without a clear ethical framework in place. We need to be proactive, not reactive.
I completely agree. The future is not predetermined. It's shaped by the choices we make in the present. And with quantum computing, those choices carry more weight than ever before. They have the potential to reverberate for generations to come.
So as we stand at the precipice of this quantum revolution, I think we need to proceed with both excitement and caution. We should embrace the vast possibilities while also acknowledging the risks and engaging in thoughtful dialogue about the ethical implications. This is not a time for blind optimism or reckless abandon.
Well said. It's a journey into the unknown, filled with uncertainty and wonder. But it's a journey we must embark on together with wisdom, foresight, and a shared commitment to creating a better future for everyone, not just a privileged few. The potential is there to solve global challenges, but we must proceed thoughtfully and collaboratively.
And on that note, we'll wrap up our deep dive into the world of quantum computing. We've explored the mind-boggling science, the exciting investment opportunities, and the crucial ethical challenges that lie ahead. I hope our listeners have come away with a deeper understanding of this transformative technology and its potential impact on our world.
It's been a fascinating conversation, and I hope our listeners are inspired to continue exploring this space. Ask questions, engage in discussions, and stay informed about the latest developments. This is a field that's evolving rapidly, and it's crucial to stay engaged.
Remember, the future is not something that simply happens to us. It's something we actively create through our choices and actions. And with quantum computing, we have the potential to create a future that is brighter, more equitable, and more sustainable for all. The power is in our hands, but it's a power that must be wielded responsibly.
Well said. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into quantum computing. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep asking those big questions. The future is waiting to be written, and we all have a role to play in shaping it.
That's it for this episode of The Deep Dive. We'll be back soon with another fascinating topic. Until then, stay curious.